vibras? Because we know the vibras. Welcome back to another episode of the You Know the Vibras podcast. This is your boy, Michael Carrasco. As always, accompanying me, the one and only Juan the Don. And we got a special guest today. We have the one and only, we talk about him all the time here on the podcast, good friends of the You Know the Vibras podcast and company, the boy El Chino, a.k.a. Juan Lu.
Yeah,
Nah, I'm just messing.
Hefe Lu, actually. Chino Dominicano, for real, though.
Ooh. Yes, sir. Man, tell the audience a little bit about yourself, how you met us, where you come from. I feel like that's a big one that you gotta tell us.
Where do I come from? Well, I mean, I'm half Vietnamese, half Chinese, I guess, if we really want to go there. But honestly, I met him at Salisbury, and then he was the brother of my roommate in Baltimore, and also just my friend Ish Mullah at Salisbury.
Another plug.
Yeah. So that's how I know them. You know, partied with them a little bit, and then here we are. I live in Baltimore, Houston, Chicago. We have all the cities represented.
Facts.
Yes, sir.
So wait, you missed out a big part there. Like you just jumped over college. Like what did you major in? And then because we want to touch on, I think because we have a lot of listeners that either went through college but also are going through college.
Okay.
Or are thinking about it.
And I want to know first of all what you majored in, and also if you're still in that field after college.
So for college, I transferred from a community college with a general studies associates to Salisbury, and then once I was at Salisbury, I got my minor in communications and I got my major in political science, which I used, and I was working for the U.S. Attorney's Office, different government agencies. But to answer your question, I'm actually not in my field right now, so I'm doing kind of like program coordination work right now at a biotech firm.
Right.
They're paying for my master's, and so I'm starting my MBA this year, and I'm trying to become a program manager there.
Word. But what do you think is the reasoning that a lot of us college grads don't get into the field that we study or major in? Like what can people that go to college do somewhat to prevent that from happening, or do you think it's inevitable?
I think honestly in today's day and age, if you're not like nursing or if you're not a teacher or if you're not something that's like set
specialized.
Specialized. I think a lot of times you come out of college, you think you wanna kind of go into what you're going to go into. But I think that's also a lot of our parents' mindset where it was sold like a dream. Like, you know, in the 90s, you go to college. If you're a business major, you're going to work in business. You're going to do 25 years, graduate. But I think nowadays, even with you guys seeing your success with the podcast, I think you can come out and you can make money elsewhere. So the degree at the end of the day is just a way to get into the light or into the job space. And then from there, you can, trajectory it to anything else.
Word. Right. Before we get off of that, I still have something about college because I feel like we're missing something that I want to get out of you. And I just want to know, in your opinion, is college worth it? Do you think so?
Ooh, controversial question, by the way.
So I think college is worth it, but I think college is what you make it, right? So
why is it worth it though?
I think college is worth it because it gets you in the door and it gets you over that threshold of, let's say, $50,000. Whereas you can join the job force and you can maybe start at 30, but it's going to take you like 5 years to get to 50. I think once you have a degree, you start at 50 and it's only up from there at times. But I also think, like I said, college is what you make it, and college is successful if you make it successful. Because if you take too long, it can be a detriment to you too.
Word.
Right. The other thing that I do want to touch on is because now I feel like we are in an age of certification where you can get to that $50,000, $70,000 job a year by just going on very different sites and just get a certification.
Right.
Do you think that that's going to play a major role? Let's say is it playing a major role now, or would it play a bigger role later on when it comes to acquiring jobs?
I think whatever works for you. So whatever. If you wanna go to college, if you have something set, like people who want to do nursing, they want to go to college, they have it set. But if you're kind of iffy, I mean, I'm not advocating for this, but I know I was just talking to my brother who's 17. I sometimes think going the military way, going 2 years, doing research, and then having everything paid for, and then even when you come out, you have like the military funding or you have the military grants for housing. Like it really just depends like what you want to do. But I think As long as you know, and I guess as long as you have people supporting you with your decision, I think that's the biggest thing. And then you can go from there.
All right, so a little. First of all, take a drink because you're like speaking so fast. You're giving me
going
nervous
100
vibes,
miles per
man.
hour
I don't know
right
why
now,
you're making me
bro.
very nervous, man. You like speaking.
I will say,
yo, that's the Dominican influence on him
I
right
will,
now, bro.
I will say just to segue into it. I think the Dominican influence a little bit with my wife and my in-laws. You really got to just get
you gotta
it out
cash out, bro.
We're gonna get into that, but
yeah.
I want to mention to shift gears. I mean, it's still college related, but shift gears. I mean, because from what I knew before, you're married,
Yeah. The reform.
I have a question. Me and Michael already answered this in the previous episode a long time ago. What would you say in college was like your craziest college experience? That was like, wow, like this is college. Like it could be party, whatever. Like,
I think the craziest college experience was when I had a midterm on a Friday. And Michael remembers this. I was in the library all night, studying for the midterm. The midterm was at like 11 o'clock. Michael, my friend Tony, like all visited me in the library overnight. I was studying. Midterm was taken. All stress was off. I hate to say it, but by 2 o'clock, I was already preparing for a house party. So I mean, I think college is very touch and go, right? You're there for a moment, you're ready to do a midterm, and then 2 hours later you get cleared of the midterm. You're like, man, I'm ready.
Free.
I'm ready to party.
I'm free.
I'm ready to set up the night.
Would you say that before college were you into partying?
No. So before that, I think because of the way I was brought up by my parents, it was school, sports, and then just home.
So we see that a lot where people take the I feel like when they go to college, they take the opportunity to be independent and they start testing new things.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're going to college or if you already went to college, well, if you already went to college, you can relate. But if you're going to college, definitely enjoy your time there because college is something that I feel like you can't repeat. Like, the experiences and stuff. But also, I feel like your friends that you meet through college are those friends that do transfer over to like your life post-college.
I feel like college friends are way more important than like high school, middle school friends. Because after college, those are the people.
But they stay in your life after.
Yeah, exactly.
I think me and my wife were talking about this the other day. I think college friends are different than middle school or high school friends because, like, you're at a different mindset. So what your college friends are gonna see you go through, they're gonna want to support you later on in life with your goals and aspirations because you talk about them in college. Mm-hmm. But I think in high school, everyone's just dreaming, and then so that's why I think a lot of times. And that's why I didn't go to my 10-year reunion. I think a lot of times people they have these goals, they have these aspirations, then everyone comes together for like, let's say a 10-year reunion, and everyone's just there they just want to shoot the shit and be like, hey, I'm doing this, or I'm pulling up in this car. But it's like, what's really going on? Because in 10 years, yeah, you can grow a lot, but are you just coming here because you want to flaunt to me what you're doing?
Right.
Or do you really care about, me? Because we were never really friends, and all of a sudden you're telling me you're driving a Beamer or something.
Nah, I agree.
So we're seeing that you mention your wife a lot, man. You mention your wife a lot. I kind of want to jump into that the love life, man. First of all, how did you end up, having a Dominican wife? Because I feel we have to put emphasis on that because that has influenced you a lot. Man.
It has. So I think honestly, and I mean Michael can attest to this because obviously I'm not Dominican, but I think Michael realized I was Dominican before I realized I was Dominican. Just by the way I was interacting and doing what I was doing. But honestly, it was once I bought my house in Baltimore. A friend Leo had a friend that he was working with, Chennais, and she just came over to the house. And actually, funny story, first time we met, they came over and they wanted to go out. And I had my house for about a week at that point, and I was like, I don't know. I just don't know about the Baltimore nightlife. I'm gonna stay in. Y'all go out. And she told me later once we were dating, she was like, yeah, I really thought you were the stuck-up kid. She was like, we came to your house, we pre-gamed, and then you was like, no, I don't really want to go out. Like, I'm just gonna chill in my house. But then we went out the next weekend, and I don't know. I think I got hooked. I got hooked, man. Like that song said, I got sprung, and it just.
But you would have never thought you would have been married to a Dominican. I mean, do you even know Dominican women existed at one point? Like, I feel like sometimes, like in Baltimore, I don't even think I know of Dominicans in Baltimore like that. So, did you know of any Dominicans? Like,
I knew about Dominican women when me and my family went on a family vacation, like reunion to DR.
Okay. So you've been to DR.
And I saw Dominican women for the first time on the resort. But I think in my head I was always like, this is a vacation.
Yeah, right.
This would never be me. And now I'm fortunate enough to it's me every day.
Right. Nah, that's what's up, man. Yeah. That's what's up. Now, what was I gonna ask? How life, man? So you got married what about
I got married about a year ago. It's gonna be a year ago. March 24th.
How's life, man, after marriage?
So I think marriage life is it's different. It's different. I think it's a lot of compromise. It's a lot of listening to them and them listening to me, and then we come together. But I feel like there's a follow-up question to that.
I think the right question should be, how do you know when to get married? Like that, or do you think that's something that you can't really like anticipate, or should it just be something in the moment? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like to propose and everything like that. Like, because there's a lot of people that do it, and then they're in a situation where they're kind of somewhat forced to be with someone, and they're not really, meant to be with that person.
I think once you've been with them for a while, you think about what they bring to the table, what you bring to the table, and then just kind of how you guys interact together. And then what it was really for me is I sat there and I said, well, if I wanted to break up with her, what would be my restart, or where would I go, or would I find those same qualities in someone else? And once all the answers to those questions are no, 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 and no, it's like then you found the one. Because I would say if I had reservations about I could find that in someone else, then maybe I wouldn't consider proposing. But once I was like, nope, she checks off all the boxes, then it's just a matter of saving up for the ring and that kind of situation.
Right.
All right. I do have a question. Not that you mentioned ring. By the way, we got the special co-host.
We have a special guest here.
Millie, the De Vibra's official mascot.
Mascot.
But back to the question is, how much do you spend on a ring, bro?
So it's funny you bring that up. Me and some coworkers were talking about that, and this coworker, I won't put her out there, but she was saying that she wants at least a $30,000 ring. And honestly, I get that, and I get that some men have the means to give a $30,000 ring, but also, I'll just put it like this: if you have a $30,000 ring, you really got to think about what kind of wedding you want, right?
Right.
So if you buy, let's say, a $5,000 ring, but then you have a $40,000 wedding, all in all, marriage was $45,000. But when you break it down, 40 of it was the wedding, 5 was the ring. If you have a $40,000 wedding, but 3,000 of it was the ring and 10,000 was the wedding.
Right. So you got to put that into perspective. I feel like, and I wish we had like a female perspective of this. I feel like for women, they always want, I'm like, okay, I'm worth this. But from the man perspective, it's like, well, I feel like we're more logical when it comes to like that type of.
But I also think it's what you can do then and it's what you can do now. So
right.
So for instance, if you're asking me my question, I paid about $3,000 for my wife's engagement ring, and just recently we went there to talk about sizing up for a ring, and we actually ended up. Well, I ended up. No, I say we.
Gotta make it clear.
I say we. But we sized up the ring before the 1 year just because, I always told her we're going to size up.
Right.
And I actually think that what we sized up to is going to last for another like 5 years. And then you just go from there. But it's funny because me and her, we went there and there was a wife who was there who was like, oh, it's Valentine's Day. I guess another ring, honey. And they were in and out. And so I don't necessarily know if that culture is conducive, like I don't know if that's really realistic, because then it's like, as great as that guy is and as great as a husband as he is, he sets the bar so high for the rest of us. It's like, then the rest of us are gonna look like crap,
Right. I think essentially there shouldn't really be a price on that. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like the thought of you marrying someone should be somewhat more than, worth more than what the ring should be itself. Because I feel like if you're dating someone, or if you're gonna marry someone, and they somewhat judge their partner based on the ring, or if they're not happy with their, significant other based on the ring, then you shouldn't be with that person, I feel like. Because if they feel like the marriage is in jeopardy because you didn't get them an expensive ring,
right.
I think you should definitely reconsider the person you're marrying.
But
You know what I mean?
But I also think, I think certain women have certain
Standards.
expectations and standards.
Right.
And I also think that before you marry that certain person, you already know what their standard is. So I almost feel like it's almost unfair
Right.
to complain about what their standard is if you already know.
Right.
Because I feel like as men we know if we're dating someone who's high class or who's high strung, we know that what that's gonna take is immediately once we date her, it's gonna be, gifts that are gonna be high strung. It's gonna be all that kind of stuff that comes with it. So I think even though it sucks that at the end it's gonna be a high strung ring or it's gonna be a high strung this or that, we kind of know it's coming.
Right. It's kind of like you got to know what you're getting into type of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. Shifting over, still in the marriage aspect.
Yes.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like we have to give the podcast a little bit more oomph.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I like that. Yeah.
Because I'm sure we do have a lot of Dominican supporters and listeners that keep up with the podcast, and I think it's unique. You being Vietnamese, married to a Dominican woman. Dominican queen. You know what I'm saying? Your queen. You know what I'm saying? You got to give her props. You know what I mean? I feel like I want to talk about that marriage. You marrying a Dominican and you being Vietnamese. Do you think, or not think, do you know of any challenges you may have faced that you weren't expecting with the two cultures? Or do you think, like, for instance, families, were they able to right off the bat, like mesh, or were there challenges that you think that someone that maybe not be Dominican and is marrying a Dominican or wants to date a Dominican should know? Like, what were things that surprised you? You know what I'm saying? Like, just give us the rundown. You being, not being Dominican, but dating a Dominican, or married to a Dominican woman. What are things people should know?
Let me take a drink real quick.
Okay.
So we can be as truthful and honest as
be truthful. Have your whole dialogue. Let us know. Let everyone know.
For the kids at home, that was just fruit juice, by the way.
Yes, sir.
So no, but honestly, when we first started dating, I don't think I knew any of what I guess I was getting myself into. I think I was just, I'm dating my friend, and then I think
you didn't put the race on.
Yeah, and I think as it was coming to fruition, I think people were like, "Oh, you're dating a Dominican woman." Like you know what that comes with. I think, I think both of you can understand it comes with the same kind of misconceptions that it comes with when people go, "Oh, you're dating a Dominican man."
Dominican men get bashed more than Dominican women. There's a bad thing about Dominican men. So
there's certain connotations that are around it. So a lot of my friends were like, "Oh man, is she controlling? Is she bossy? Is she, does she run you?" And I think that, and shouts out to the Chiefs, they won, but the Ravens should have won. Lamar had a down year, but I think if we could talk about it like a marriage compared to like an NFL offense, it's not so much that Dominican women I don't think want to control. I think Dominican women game manage a little bit.
Okay.
So and I don't think that should have a negative connotation around it. I think that it's that they want to see what's best for their man, their significant other, whether it's a man or a woman.
But you're leaving stuff out. How do they game manage? Like, I'm lost. I'm genuinely lost.
Right.
Like, what are you referring to?
I think it's like, it's a matter of, a lot of times, people from the outside will say Dominican women are controlling. But then if you get into a situation, it's that the Dominican woman is just kind of
have a strong personality.
Well, I don't know if I can agree with that. I think they have a personality, but I think that they just kind of they impose their thoughts and kind of what they think should be done on you, and they allow you to kind of make the decision. Because I will say, for instance, with my wife, right? Sometimes I'll come up to her and I'll be like, "Babe, I want to do this, I want to do that, and then I want to do this." And she goes, "Okay, but aren't we saving for this? Or aren't we doing this? You sure this is a good use of your money?" And she'll leave it like that. She'll never be like, "Hey, you're making the money, you're paying the bills, and then I don't want you to do this, but just remember, we have this goal in mind. So don't you think you should allocate some money over here versus
instead over here?"
Want? And it's said in like a very very touch and go.
I think there's something that we need to point out though. We can't generalize we can't generalize just say Dominican women, because I think there's a massive difference between a Dominican woman raised in the United States and a Dominican woman born and raised in DR.
That's true.
It's like it's night and day, bro.
So I guess that's maybe where it's a difference then, because my wife, her mother came here when she was 6 months pregnant with her, and then she was born in Bronx, but like she never really grew up in New York, and then she grew up in Maryland and in Reisterstown, and then it's like then she always tells me, she's like, if you look at me versus me and my brother and sister, it's different, right? They lived in DR. There's a certain concept to them that's like, they want to always do better, and she's like, not saying I'm lazy or anything, but I was born here, so I don't have to.
It's a little easier.
In
some sort of way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I think what I'm trying to say is I think the reason I'd say the cultures didn't clash as much is because she was born and raised here.
I mean, I think the cultures clashed, and I'll put my people out there. I think the culture clashed on my end, because I have a funny story that me and her always laugh about, where she met my parents for the first time, and my mom, I don't know if my mom just wasn't listening or what happened, but I definitely know, Chennai said, I was born in Bronx, blah, blah, blah. And my mom literally goes, so when did you come here from DR? And me and my brother both looked at her and were like, hey, yo, were you not listening? She said she was born in Bronx, and like her mom came over, but like my mom to this day always feels bad about that. But I think that's the misconception, or even, and I don't think there was any malice when this happened, but I play in a volleyball tournament that's the national tournament, and someone who's known me from my childhood and knew my grandparents came up to Chennai and was like, oh, who are you watching on this team? And she was like, oh, I'm watching Jordan. That's my husband. And he just kind of hit her with the, oh, like I know Jordan said he was married, but I didn't realize. And it's one of those like I guess Asian culture always assumes, when you hear, oh, my dad Kenny's son got married, you assume, oh, it's gonna be between Asian, it's gonna be for sure, whatever. So who's this Dominican chick just watching volleyball at an Asian volleyball tournament? So the moment she says, oh, my husband's Jordan, it's like oh, really? Like
it's like a curveball being thrown.
Yeah, for sure.
That's interesting, because you would normally, here you would always attach that to the whole when black and white date, like the biracial thing, and you would always hear there being like a part of the family that is against one side dating the other. I would have never thought there would have been an Asian conflict with Hispanic, but I understand it, because sometimes they like to keep the generations, I guess,
within the culture, right?
I've talked to her about it too. I think ultimately, if you're talking about race, right, you got white people, and then you got black people, and black people always feel white people. Then nobody really ever talks about Asian people, right? Asian people are kind of here, and they're always if you look at skits or anything, black people always make fun of Asian people, but then Asian people have someone to beat up on. And sadly, it's Hispanic people, I feel like. And I don't think that that's right, because I think everyone, unless you're white, came over to the United States, and they came here for a dream, right? So just because certain people have certain legs up on others, right, it doesn't mean they're any better or worse. But yet the same people who are talking about getting oppressed by so-and-so are then looking down on other people like, well, you just do my laundry, or oh, you just cook Asian food for me, so I can just come to the Asian spot and throw money or whatever. And then it's a trickle down effect, and I think that's American culture, though.
Word.
Yeah.
Right. And hold that thought, before we move, I just to make sure we give the listeners the nice crisp audio. You know what I'm saying? By the way, man, this is a little raw. There we go.
Nah, but something
we got the stendo.
So. No, I think what you said is very important, and it definitely it's surprising to me, because low key in DR there is an Asian community,
and so I've been told that.
Big, a lot of Japanese, Koreans.
So me and Michael have talked about it. It's kind of weird to think about, because here you don't really see. I mean, I guess you kind of do see here, but most of the Asian community in Dominican Republic is basically the like the fried chicken spots.
Okay.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever fried chicken restaurant is basically Asian ran.
Okay.
And I would attest to this, and I think Hispanics have this. All right, in English it sounds bad, but Hispanics kind of like, for instance, like el chino.
Right.
Some people would take offense to that.
We generalize it.
Right. And if there's a darker skinned lady, they'd be like la morena or morena. So it's like it's something that they use a lot. So like over there they say, oh, palo chino, o los chino. You know what I'm saying? El pica pollo chino. Chinese fried chicken.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's something that some people think is offensive, but it's like a term of endearment in a way.
Well,
Right, yeah.
I think I also have seen examples of that. Like when I first started coming around my wife's family, you know, there were certain cousins who would always make, you know, the obvious Asian jokes like, oh, you know, like those sneakers, you made those yourself.
Right.
Or you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you know, what's
That's a
Chinese
good
New Year's? Or like do y'all really eat dog? And like
Yo,
even,
right. I feel like that's the biggest one.
But the thing is that when her and her cousins were like, hey, you know, you got to stop saying that to him. Like, it's not right. I saw that personally as a sign of like, not necessarily endearment, but acceptance. Cause I think it's ignorance on the fact of just like even if I were to talk about like certain cult, like certain Hispanic, I don't know every single culture, right? So I'm just gonna generalize, or I'm gonna ask like, oh, hey, you know, there's this or that. So I think that's people trying to relate to people and they just don't know. So I don't think that's ignorance coming from a place of malice. I think that's just ignorance coming from a place of just being nervous and not knowing.
Right. No, but what I want to get to though, bro, is like you went to DR multiple times, right?
I've been
Well, have you been with your wife?
I have not yet.
Oh,
not yet.
So the times you've gone is when I were. But you were with her or no?
No, I was with family. So
I'm saying were you in a relationship with her?
No.
Okay, then never mind. I was gonna say, how'd you feel being over there? Like, did you feel accepted?
No.
Or what was your? Did you stay in a resort or you?
Yeah, I was staying in a resort, but I will touch on that just from being with her family, and a lot of her family is here. I think we actually just touched on that, like just the other day, even before I came out to Houston, I was able to I was in the area right town. I was trading some shoes. I picked up a pair of shoes, and I just stopped by my mother-in-law's house. And the first thing she asked me was, you know, hey, how are you doing? I know you haven't been around. I know you've been busy and everything.
Right.
Do you want some food? And I kind of called my mom, and I was like, you know, it's kind of crazy, and I don't mean to put, you know, my own like parents out there, but like it's kind of crazy, you know. I can go to my mother-in-law's house and feel super like just culturally like welcome.
Yeah.
Hey, have you eaten, my son? You know, like that kind of situation. Versus, you know, if I go to my parents' house, it's always like a, hey, why are you in Rockville? Do you need something? How long are you staying? And that's not a knock on them. I mean, that's just how I was going. But it's obviously different, right? And it's very evidently different. Like when I go there, I could hang out there forever. And you know, I just didn't because I had to catch a flight. But like she was like, oh, okay, you know, with the food, is that enough? Are you good? Like, but with my parents, it's always, so what do you need? Why are you here? How long are you gonna stay? And I always ask them, I go, you have something to do? They go, no, but like we just didn't expect you to show up. And I was
right.
Like,
you gotta give us a little notice.
I can just show up, like.
Not yet. I think that's a good thing. I'd say
for the most part, all Hispanics are very welcoming.
Welcoming and always are very they're welcoming with a sense of like giving you food or in Dominican households, coffee is a big thing.
Yes.
For some reason, any time of the day, they want to just offer you coffee. But
coffee with like 4 spoons of sugar, spoon of sugar.
Or you get the condensed milk. You gotta get the condensed milk.
Hey.
All right, so you didn't go to DR though. But you have been around Dominicans a lot.
Yes.
You know, the Vibras is very infamously popular for Dominican Spanish 101, Dominican slang. I want to get into some words you may know, man.
All right, hit us with
some Dominican Spanish you may know.
Let's go.
Like,
start with
instance,
them.
How about this? How about you mentioned them, and I want to see what you think they mean.
Yeah.
So, like for instance, I know like if we're going out tonight and we're just gonna listen to some dembow, right? I love El Alfa, but like if I see some Dominican, I'm gonna say "Que lo que, man." Like
what's "Que lo que" for you?
To me, it's like what's going on, man. You like the vibes.
Look at the camera, man. Look at the people, man.
What do you like the vibes? How you feeling? You know, "Que lo que."
Que lo que?
Yeah.
How do you spell "Que lo que"?
I would spell it K-L-K.
Okay,
there you go.
Exactly.
We on there. We on there.
Damn, man. Hey, that's
maybe
massive.
in all
Yeah.
caps. Maybe in all caps.
That's
Maybe in all
massive.
caps.
That's
Maybe in all
massive.
caps. You know, it's a two-phrase thing. So K-L-K, comma K-L-K, all
Wow.
caps.
Yeah.
Hey, that's massive.
And I'm gonna point out, I like the fact that you gave like different definitions because it can be used in different ways.
Because if
Like
you hear a hype song, you look at something like
yeah,
K-L-K.
exactly.
But at the same time, if you just walking into that bar or situation, you say, okay, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we
like,
got
what's going
que lo que.
on?
What's another one that you know of or that you may use?
Well, it is something I learned. I don't know if it's necessarily a word, but I know that the custom is you got to do the cheek kiss. I feel like
Okay.
a lot of
La
people.
bendición.
I feel like a lot of
Well, that's
people
one.
that goes beyond, you know. And sometimes my wife be getting on me because sometimes I'll see someone like her sister just walk in the room, and to me it's just very comfortable. It's like, oh hey,
Yeah.
And she's like-
Handshake or handshake,
she's like,
right?
hey, you didn't do the thing, and I'm like, it's your sister. She's like, still you gotta do the thing, and I'm
Right,
like,
right.
oh man. So,
Right.
so that's one, and then I think also.
There's no way que lo que is the only word you know, bro.
I
You
know.
live with a
Yeah, you
Dominican
know,
woman,
I
bro.
know,
There's
I
no
know.
way. Is she a yo no sabo?
I know como tú estás,
¿Cómo tú estás?
but I don't know if that's just
Yo,
No,
that
that's
Dominican accent,
Dominican.
no.
That's
¿Cómo tú
Dominican.
estás?
yeah. And I tell my mother all the time, bien.
Damn, but if you tell your mother-in-law "cómo tú estás," that's kind of how do I? ¿Cómo
It's
tú
got-
estás?
it's like a
you
little
have
bit
to say
disrespectful,
it's
yeah.
disrespectful because you have to say "cómo tú estás."
See, so I've never known that. I just always, I think she maybe lets me slide.
She lets you
but I
slide.
just be
Definitely.
coming out like, como tú estás? She's like, bien.
Yeah, because it's kind of like
very slang.
slang,
Yeah,
exactly, and it's
yeah.
kind of like you're not respecting them. In a way.
It's like if you were like a Dominican kid coming up to like an older Dominican with the ¿cómo tú estás? Y esa falta de respeto, mijo.
Yeah. Also, like the difference between tú, and usted.
And usted, yeah.
So I'm be honest. I took up the Spanish 3, but the conjugation, man, it lost me. So if that's a matter of knowing how to like the IR, I lost.
No. It's not that, but it's just like
the prepositions or the
well,
pronouns of it.
no. It depends who you're talking to.
Okay.
Right.
That's someone of respect. That's your mother-in-law. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Someone that's like, you know what I mean? It's up there. Like you have to, like for instance, to her you say usted, not tú.
Oh, okay.
But she definitely lets you slide. Anyways, going back into this, there's no way que lo que and como tú estás is the only two things you know, man. You're married to a Dominican woman, bro.
I know ponte las pilas.
Ponte la pila. Okay.
What do you think that means?
That means putting your battery. That means
But what do you think?
You better put some pep in your step.
Okay.
Like when she's
Okay.
asking me to vacuum the house, and I'm kind of like, I don't say, ponte las pilas. I don't know.
Yeah,
Ponte la
right.
pila.
right.
I'm like, hey,
Okay.
Ponte la pilas.
What is something you might hear her say, you know what I'm saying, frequently that's a Dominican word, like in the house?
she likes to call me a lambón.
Yo!
Sometimes she be getting upset at me
Hey,
and the dog.
yo.
She be calling us that.
She calls you what?
A lambón.
Lambón. What is a lambón?
Tell us the meaning. Tell us the meaning.
What's the meaning to
Personally,
a
I hope it just means a lame. That's
lame?
that's what I interpret it as.
Mm. My boy.
A lame.
Is that,
My boy.
is that wrong?
So
Wait,
alright,
hit it
so
with it.
lambón comes from lamber is lick.
To lick.
Uh-huh.
So basically lambón comes from like someone that, say for instance, there's like a
Easiest way to put it. Let's say we go out to the club, right?
Uh-huh.
Everybody pinches in, but you kind of like hide yourself. That way you don't have to pinch in anything.
No.
But
The
you
better way
still-
to say it is you don't go out frequently and you know somebody's in town that got money and you're just gonna attach yourself to them because they got money. That's a lambón. You know what I'm saying? Or like if, say for instance, there's an argument
Mm-hmm.
and you choose someone's side, you know what I'm saying? Like say for instance Michael's side, you're gonna be like, oh, you're a lambón. You're lambiendo la Michael. Like you're,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why.
I don't think she means it like that. I think she
No.
Yeah. I
No,
think
'cause
that
you-
is I think she just
listen.
means it as like a lame.
Listen. In DR, Dominicans, one word can be either a good word, a bad word, or a word of like endearment. It's like multiple things.
Mhm.
He could be like, oh, like, tú eres un lambón, like in a bad way, or no.
Uh-huh.
¿Qué lambón tú eres? Like if you tell your girl a compliment, she'll be like, ¿qué lambón tú? You know what I'm saying? Or
Yeah.
like freaking, I don't know, in any other sense. Like for instance, it could be used in multiple ways, but
Mhm.
still essentially mean one thing. It's weird. That's why I think Spanish is such a hard like really speaking, I was talking about this with Michael earlier. Like Spanish in school doesn't really prepare you.
Oh, 100%, 100%.
Because like I was telling him, you learn the book Spanish, but in the real world, like you have all these different races that speak differently. You know what I mean?
100%.
But let's not get away from this though. I like this. What's another word if you have any more?
No, I think that's it, man.
No way, bro.
Yeah, I know you got some, man. I know you
man,
guys got
There's one I know you know. It starts with a C. Let's see if you know.
No, I don't.
Say she stubs her toe or something. What's one word she would say loudly? Come on, bro.
You might have to refresh my memory.
Coño, pero que el tigre no sabe.
He just said it. He just said it.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Wow.
One. Are we allowed to throw this one out there?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. So one word that I don't know. Have we spoken about it before? Yeah. So it's coño.
Yeah.
Coño, that's what that.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Sorry. See, that's what I'm saying. I've heard a lot. Sometimes it just
flies right.
That's a massive one, man.
Yeah.
Like I remember in school when I was younger in school, I used to like say for instance I was mad at the teacher or something. I would say it because I knew she didn't know what the heck it meant. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't get in trouble for it. You know what I mean? So I would say it and get it passed.
I've heard that word. What do you guys think that word means, or what does it?
It's damn.
It is. That's how it translates.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Or it could be. I mean, like I said.
It could be something else.
It could. That's the
depending on like what's going on. Like if you
depending
it depends on the mood.
Yeah.
Or also I guess the tone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's why it's so tricky, man. All right. So you don't know any more words. How about this, man? Dominican cuisine. What's your favorite Dominican dish?
Tres golpe.
Ooh.
Look in the camera when you say it.
Okay. I like tres golpe with the extra cheese. The fried cheese, even though I'm lactose intolerant and I shouldn't eat it, I love the cheese. The cheese
break down los tres golpes. What is it, los tres golpes?
So it's a little salami, a little avocate. You got a little mango.
Okay.
You got salami.
Okay.
And then you got the cheese, man. The cheese. Let me tell you, I don't know how you guys are eating it, but if you cut a piece of the cheese and you put it with the salami, with a little bit of the mango, with a little bit of the egg,
You just get that could be like a sushi roll, man.
That could be
it could be.
Tres golpes sushi roll.
Because there are sushi Dominican platanao sushi.
Yeah.
I never seen a mango sushi.
So
that'd be nuts.
So I actually we had at her niece's quince in Orlando. They had a fusion sushi and it was
sweet
really
plantain
good.
though.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
It was really good.
So los tres golpes. What's another big Dominican dish you like, man?
I like sancocho.
Sancocho, okay.
With the
good
with
on
the
a
rice.
good Sunday.
I also
hold on. This is controversial, man. This is controversial.
So I like it with the rice, but check this out. Check this out. So here's how I eat my sancocho, right?
There you go.
I put the sancocho in a bowl, heat it up, put a little bit of rice in it first. Here's to me the thing that sets it apart. You get the concon, and you sprinkle it on top, like a little bit of crispy on top, and you just take a spoonful and that.
So yeah, that's very controversial. Bro. Like there's either for one, all right. So there's two controversies in Dominican cuisine. I'd say sancochos. Are you the person that either puts the sancocho on top of the rice, or do you put the rice in the sancocho?
You gotta put it.
You said you put it in the sancocho.
Because if you put it on top, then you don't know what's touching what. But if you have the soup in front of you, you can add rice as necessary. But if you want more soup that day, you can add less rice.
So I'm the type of person that I'm backwards. I like to put I eat the sancocho like as a soup, but I also put it on the rice. Sometimes I do a little bit of all of them. I even put the spoonful of rice in the sancocho. So I just like to mix it up a bit.
It also depends and I won't put nobody out there, but it also depends on who's making the sancocho, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Right, 100%. 100%.
If it's a flavorful sancocho, right? Like my mother-in-law is very flavorful, so I will add the rice to it, right?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
But if it's like a okay flavor, I might just put it on top of the rice because I know there's gonna be more rice to soak it up, and then I don't have to taste like the weird flavors.
Okay.
But if I want more of the sancocho flavor and I want the savoriness, I'll add the rice to it so that I'm not diluting it as much.
Right.
Okay, that's an interesting way to look at it.
How you do your sancocho?
Man, for me, I put the rice in the sancocho.
Okay. For those that don't know, the equivalent of this in English terms, I'd say maybe, is basically like for cereal. Like, do you put the cereal first or the milk first? It's literally the same thing.
Essentially,
Yeah.
The other controversial Dominican thing with food or cuisine, is rice and beans. Do you put the beans on top of the rice or the beans on the side? I like to put the beans on top.
So if I'm having like habichuela, I mean, obviously the beans are inside already. But if we're just
habichuela guisada, like
if we're just talking like beans,
like the let's say like white rice and beans.
Exactly.
I like them on the side, but that's only because even like with my Thanksgiving plate, I'm the type of person where I have sections of food, and then I will join them as necessary.
Yeah.
But I don't like if you put everything on a plate, you're really ruined. Like, because if I just want to eat beans in a spoonful versus just rice, I want to be able to taste that flavor.
Nah, but with that plate, like earlier you mentioned the concon. Concon is essentially, especially in that dish, is essentially to be eaten, or whatever, however you want to say it, with the beans on top of the concon, so that way the concon is softened,
and
not as. So
and I feel like we gotta give the listeners essentially concon is when we cook the rice, it's like the burnt up rice at the bottom. It just clumps up and it's nice and crisp.
Right. So I was gonna talk about that. Like, what was your like? Have you ever eaten concon before you met your wife, or
so I
you always discard it?
So I have not, but then I remember going to a family like party, and there was a little side dish of it, because there's certain people who like it, certain people who don't.
Yeah,
right.
I was like, what is that? Is that something special? No, it's the same rice, but it's just the burnt part on the bottom, and some people like it, some people don't. And so I took a little bit, and I was like, this is nice.
Yeah, it's crunchy.
Yeah, the concon be hit, bro.
And honestly, if the rice is seasoned correctly, it captures all the seasoning. So I actually think that's the most seasoned part.
Right.
I think that's the most seasoned part.
Facts. Any other dishes, man?
I know pollo guisado.
Pollo guisado.
Okay, pollo guisado. Okay.
My mother-in-law always makes a pernil on the holidays.
Ooh.
That's really good.
Yes, sir.
I think that's it.
So let's say death row. What would be your preferred last meal? Would you say it's Dominican? Now that you're in the Dominican, basically household essentially, or culture, or would it be something else?
So I think honestly, if they gave me 2 meals, it'd be tres corpe, and I would like drunken noodles from the Asian culture, the flat noodles with the beef, extra spicy. So I would start with the noodles, and then because I know that, I'm about to die, I would have the tres corpe as like my breakfast before I go to bed.
Right,
End it like that. So
Word.
I agree.
Compañero.
Yeah, man. What was I gonna ask, man? So you said pernil. Which part of the pernil you like? Do you like the one with where's the crispy part? Do you like the...
I like the bottom where kind of like all the juices and all the fat kind of sit. Because you can get a nice cut and put that over top of the rice.
Okay. I see that the food thing is kind of winding down. I got. This is my last thing I want to talk about, and it's the music.
Mm-hmm.
What was your introduction to Dominican music? And after you talk about that, what would be your preferred choice of Dominican music?
We'll take it back to cafe, bro.
Why not? So I mean, cafe, I was just kind of there, just vibing. But I would say what really brought me was when I started going to clubbing a little bit in Baltimore, and the song honestly is the song by El Alfa and Bad Bunny.
De Malaga Gigogo, or La Calle Bota Fuego, fire.
The one where it goes fuego, fire.
La Romana.
That still to this day undefeated. If I hear that somewhere, I'm jumping around, because it's just to me, it's just energy, right? That's just raw, pure energy, and I just you can't replicate that.
Okay, so basically you're saying, like, to answer your question, dembow is your choice of Dominican music, or do you like bachata, merengue?
I like bachata and merengue.
Do you know how to dance bachata?
I do. I do know how to do a little bit of a step.
Okay.
I do know how to do a little bit of step. I know how to do merengue. I do not know how to do salsa, but salsa is a whole different.
Hey, that's important, man. That you bought into learning how to dance bachata and merengue, or any Dominican.
I honestly think the reason why I bought into it is because when we used to go out, when I would go out with my wife, it's like, I could dance to the hip hop, I could jump around to the dembow, but there's nothing like when you see the girl that you want dance with someone else because you don't know how to do that step.
Ooh.
So when I was like, damn, yo, if I really want to get her, I gotta learn how to dance because every time bachata comes on, she wants to dance with someone else. She don't want to dance with me.
Man.
You don't out there, you know, like the word. You don't want to go out there looking like a lambong. You don't want to look like
No, it'll be a palomo.
El palomo,
Palomo. You don't want to be out there and just watching her. So I was like, I gotta learn the steps so I can be the one out there with her.
That is true.
And how you say you're confident in now?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
How hard was learning bachata for you?
Honestly, what I've been told is that I got the moves for
Two steps
have
left to right.
well 1 2 3 1 2 3 kind of 1 2 3
Exactly.
hips. But I have to learn
Bachata Z.
I have to learn not to bounce my shoulders. She said sometimes I want to hit the And she's like it's all in the hips. She's like 1 2 3 and you kind of do the side but she's like none of this up and down, right?
We talked about this he's doing bachata Z.
Bachata Z, yo, fat.
What is that? Is that the new?
That's the new wave, bro. You don't want to know about it.
1 2 3
1 2 3 They hit the middle rock.
They do TikTok dances in bachata now, man. It's insane, bro. So okay, so dembow and bachata. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that's important because music is a big part of Dominican culture. Honestly,
Right.
I'd say it's when you think of Dominican culture, you think of music.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, it's incorporated in everything, your day-to-day life. Like we always talked about, bachata is one of those genres you can listen to at any point of the day, any mood.
And I will say it's funny I like Dominican music because I remember vividly when I went to the vacation in DR. The one thing that always stuck with me is when we was watching a show, they played that song "Follow the Leader," and that song always stuck in my head. The "Follow the leader, leader, follow the leader." You guys know that song?
No. Damn, you're on your own, bro.
They be playing it on the resort. I mean, you know, hands
That's
up. I got maybe it's a resort song, but
it might be
I
a
heard
resort
it
thing.
in DR, man. I was hooked, so that it's coming full circle. I like them, you know. But yeah,
not bad. I mean, he's pretty much Dominican at this point, bro.
So you say you're stamped, man.
You stamped, bro. He got the approval.
Did you get their approval? Is the real question.
I mean, I've always liked to say this, and I've always kind of stood behind this. I think I'm a cultured Asian, so I think if I got the stamp, you know, I've always had the stamp inside.
Wait, so are you saying Asians are known to not be cultured? I'm confused there.
So I mean, I think there's
Don't be nervous, man.
I think
say it with your chest.
I think there's different types of Asians out there, right? You got the Asians who are gonna be in the books. You got the Asians who are gonna be in the clubs. You got the Asians who are gonna collect sneakers. You got the Asians who are gonna race cars. Asians are not just one thing. I think that's what people need to understand. Asians are not just one thing. So.
No, that's true. That's true.
Something you just brought something in my head. So say for instance, whenever you guys have kids, well, do you speak Vietnamese? This is a weird question.
No, I do not speak.
So you're Vietnamese, you know Sabo.
I'm third generation. Third
Right.
generation.
He's a Vietnamese, you know
Third
Sabo,
generation,
bro.
yeah.
He's a
For Vietnamese and for Chinese, third generation.
So yeah, basically what I wanted to ask, I mean, it doesn't relate to you then, but say for instance, if you I can't even ask that. I was basically want to say like, what would the kids learn?
Oh, the kids. I mean, we've already talked about this. The kids definitely got to be bilingual because I think that even with the nieces and nephews that I've seen, that her brothers and sisters have had, they're bilingual because you're always gonna need to know both. And I think even if you ever want to bring your kids to like DR or something, you're gonna have to know both.
Exactly.
So I think for sure bilingual. And you know, I never played it, but I think for sure just because there's a little bit of that blood in there, I think I gotta put my son in baseball just to see.
Ooh.
Just to see if
maybe the next Otani, you know?
Maybe, you know.
You got good genetics?
I mean, I was varsity all 4 years for lacrosse in high school.
There you go.
So
I'm saying like height and stuff.
That's you know.
I mean,
the
the
next
next
two of him.
yeah, facts. Hotel. Mike Trout is not that tall
Mike
either.
Trout's tall, bro.
Mike
Altuve is short,
Mike Trout
bro.
is
Yeah,
Jose
Altuve is like the
Altuve,
way
you
he is.
know, Jose Altuve is doing it for
Yeah, but that's
I
one
would
in a
say un
million, bro.
taponcito.
He just got that
Jose
contract.
Ramirez
actually.
is small.
Yeah, Jose
But
Ramirez.
that's one in a million, though, bro.
Right.
I mean, I'm hoping that if my son goes to the league, he's like a pitcher. You don't even have to worry about how tall he is. He just got that arm.
Okay.
He got that cannon, you know. So
I agree.
That's it for me. I mean, I wouldn't say wrapping it up though. You mentioned Baltimore. You didn't really touch too much on that, but I do want you to talk about. First of all, you might get canceled by your people from Baltimore. He said Baltimore. You're like Baltimore.
I mean,
Baltimore. That's a controversial thing. And
right. Baltimore is 2, 3.
Come on, man. How you gonna say it right now? Earlier you said it.
They call each other dummies out there. I mean, I think Baltimore has a great culture. I think it's great. But yeah, man, I like it out there.
I'm saying they have like the stereotype of Baltimore. Like, are there good places in Baltimore?
What's that stereotype of Baltimore? Because I live there, so I don't really.
Well, people say that there's no good parts in Baltimore.
I mean, I think people say that the same thing about Chicago and Houston.
Nah, there's good parts, but there's good parts though.
I mean,
but then again, that generalization.
I'm talking about people that live there have said there's no good parts.
I mean, I think Baltimore is what you make it, right? I've lived in my house for 4 years. I think people.
I lived at my house.
I think people always thought like, oh, you're worried about shooting. No, man, nothing like that happens. I think as long as you keep your head down, you stay to yourself, respect people, respect what they're doing. Everyone's out there just trying to make it just like you. So I think Baltimore is a great city. I think it has a lot to offer, and I think that even me and my wife, we're finding new spots to eat, new places to go all the time, and it's just a matter of you have to explore your city, and then you have to invest in the city that you're in. Because if you don't, like anything else, if you don't invest into it, it's gonna be shit.
Right. That's a big point. I agree with that.
Any last words?
The last words, man.
I mean,
And before you say anything, I do want to point out, you are the first in-person guest on Uno de Vibras.
Well, I don't want to put pressure on them, but I told them season 5, I think they should have a lot more in-person guests. I think this is great, and I think maybe you guys will see me again if there's an episode shot in Chicago. I don't know.
All right.
There you go.
I don't know.
Thanks. Last words from Chino.
I think the biggest thing, and I think it's the thing that I haven't touched on, is that, as great as like the evolution of colleges and as great as the evolution of marriages, I think the biggest thing that I don't talk about enough that happened to me prior to me getting married is that I got baptized. I think I gave my life to Jesus Christ, and I think with God, everything is possible. And sometimes I be sitting there going, how did I get this? How did I get that? And it always comes back to God. So I think God is first and foremost, and I think as long as you live a godly life, the rest will come. And I think the big stereotype is a godly life doesn't mean that you have to give up everything you want to do. I mean, you can still go out there, you can still have fun, you can still hang out with the people you hang out with. It's just the way you move, the way you treat people, and the way people perceive you. That's it.
Amen.
I would close on that.
Amen.
Sounds good. I did want to ask really quick before we do finish. Do you listen to Uno de Vibras?
From time to time.
See, this is what kills me about people, man. Like, you guys supposed to be supporting every week, man. What's going on, man? What's the excuse, man?
Life.
You used to have a schedule, a routine.
I know that's a bad thing, but life, honestly, sometimes. But I'm gonna try to be better. I start season 5. I'm on the episode.
He's committed.
The episode, so I got y'all put me on the spot. I gotta support more. Yeah.
Word.
Yeah.
Well, this is the end of the episode, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in to. Well, first of all, welcome to season 5.
Season 5, yes, sir.
Big time, man.
But
they hit 1,000 subscribers.
Facts,
big time.
Facts.
Yes, sir.
It's going a long way.
Yeah, facts. Thank you for. Well, I won't say thank you for coming on because you already were here.
Right.
Thank you for coming on to the episode.
Yes, thank you for having me.
I always remember you throwing or flirting the option to Michael.
Right.
But we always I don't know. It's always like you mentioned God. God, the timing is always right. You know, maybe at the
100%.
moment you probably didn't live enough with your wife to talk about what you talked about today. You know what I mean? And, you know, even about life, you know what I'm saying? There's always, don't ever question God's timing in anything. You know what I'm saying?
Never.
It's always perfect. He's the only person that's perfect. So I think we always have to, you know, live with that mindset and don't rush things. Let things come to us. Just live your day by day, being someone that's...
And just be better than you were tomorrow. I think that's the biggest thing. Don't be better than you were a year ago. Better than you were yesterday, honestly. Yeah. That's all.
100%.
And if you do that, before you know it, it's a year later and you're even greater than you thought you would be.
Gotta improve little by little. That's the way I see it.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for listening. If you're listening, if you're watching us on YouTube, thank you guys for watching. If you are not subscribed yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you guys get updated by the latest and newest coming from You Know the Vibras podcast.
Right. Like the video, comment down merch if you want to enter the merch giveaway. The infamous merch.
Eventually we'll be here.
Yeah. So yeah, comment merch. But as always, as we close out, guys, remember to subscribe and let's vibe.
Peace. Amor y paz.
Dita algo en español to close out.
Hello, okay, guys.
Adiós.